I do not believe in psychics.
Come with me to a seance. Spot the con, I can't.
And we are looking at a 2023 film.
Somebody is dead. No one shall leave this place until I know who did it.
Detective, you are here to discredit me.
We are doing a haunting in Venice. Well, this is the third film, basically, in that franchise.
Active FM. Radio has never been better.
What is up?
How are you doing?
This is the movie show.
On your favorite ORSPS?
I am Sash.
We do this every time. My name's
is
Ryan.
And we are looking at a 2023 film. Can you believe it? Yes, even though there was the actor strike and the writer's strike, we are doing a haunting in Venice.
Hot off the movie, hot
off the projector.
Directly out the render.
Yeah, well, that's nice.
Hot off out the machine before they switched it off.
So if you're not sure what a haunting in Venice is, I also was not sure what a haunting in Venice is until I found out and I was like, what? That's crazy.
Yes.
So do you remember Murder on the Orient Express? Do you remember Death on the Nile?
Do you remember the director?
Kenneth Branagh
who
playing
was also the
Hercule
actor.
Poirot. There we go.
Say it like a real Frenchman. Yes.
Well, this is the third film, basically, in that franchise. Can you believe it? I know.
I had to explain this movie to someone. They're like, huh? And I'm like, watch Tenet? Yes. The Russian dude? Yes. Yeah.
Him.
That guy.
Yeah. But what shocked me, I think, the most about this film was that there was no advertising. There was nothing. Like, I had someone come up to me and say, did you know that the next Murder on the Orient Express film came out? And I was like, what? What do you mean? And then I went and searched, and choose Bob, it was in cinemas.
There it was.
I was just like, what the heck? But then it dawned on me, Ryan. No, you know why there was no advertising? Because of the actor strike. They weren't allowed to advertise nothing. Like, literally, like, it was part of their whole contract that actors weren't allowed to promote films in any way, because obviously then the distribution companies are making the money, which were the very people that they were striking against. Therefore, they weren't allowed to promote their films.
So does that count as if we're doing a movie show about it? Well, obviously,
the strike's over now.
Obviously, the strike's over, but now we're promoting it.
I think we'd have to get permission.
So hopefully it gives it a
push.
Yes.
Yeah, no. And also, so just in case you're wondering, because like some people, I did have someone ask me this, the new Hunger Games film, A Ballad of Songbird and Snakes. So they were promoting the film before the strike ended, but the reason for that was actually because they got an exception. So I actually don't know why or how they got an exception, but they were granted an exception by the Actors Guild, and that's why they were allowed to go ahead with press and promote the film. But yeah, shame, this one didn't get any promotion, man. None. Shame. Yeah. But
I was gonna say, and it's but we're not. I don't know what Sashi thought of the film.
Okay, let's get into. Right, did you like the film, Ryan? Yes or no?
I did.
I also liked the film.
I really enjoyed it.
I must be honest. So, Murder on the Orient Express, I loved. Death on the Nile, I didn't like. I personally didn't like Death on the Nile. It was I think I had greater expectations, and then my expectations were not met. But this one, I went in knowing nothing. I kind of wasn't too like. I think also because
another whodunit kind of thing.
Yeah, not even that. I like whodunits, but for me it was okay. The second one, if the second film isn't good, then you're already like you're not starting off on a good foot. Plus, on top of that, the fact that no one had advertised this film, I was just like, why did no one advertise the film?
It did come out of nowhere,
yeah, like just came out of nowhere. Like we didn't even know, and then bam. But I actually thoroughly enjoyed.
Yeah.
I thoroughly enjoyed this one. It did have a lot of more like horror vibes than the previous two, but it was set around Halloween, and it actually was based on Agatha Christie's novel Halloween Party.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is
so
it?
it was originally in her book. The story was actually set in the UK, but I thoroughly enjoyed it in Venice. Like I thought it was the set and the location.
I wonder if Venice is really like that. Like really, like if you look at the inside, it's so cold and hard and like cemented and.
I don't I think they did go for like they dramatized on the horror side. So
I know the lighting they do. I was just looking at the lighting. I'm like, who sits in a room like that? Like, who sits in a room like that?
And he's fine with it.
Yeah, like surely people are like, let's bring some more lights in. Or I'm sure if they put on the original lights that they actually got there, it's like, wow, this is much better.
Okay, I do sit in dark rooms, right? Don't you sit in the dark?
Not like that. Like, no.
Okay, it's hot in South Africa at the moment. It's beautiful.
No,
I love the
like
heat.
Wellington.
But I, because it's hot, I'll often, especially at night, and also to not draw mosquitoes. I don't know if that works, but I literally sit in a pitch black room.
Nope.
With the window open, the door will be open. Everyone's looking at me like I'm a witch or something.
I'm sure there's others out there.
But I'm more of that. My mom often will say, "Can we please put a light on?" And I'm like, "No, leave it. It's aesthetic." I'm one of those people. So maybe I'd be one of those people that sit with the light. Yeah.
Well, in my household, I make sure all the white balance is correct.
For real?
Yeah.
With the globes?
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Except
I like
for
the warm globes.
There'll be one or two, yes, I also like the warm globes. There'll be one or two rooms I'll like just change it up a bit.
Oh, wow.
I'll be like, this room I like cool. Then later on I'll be like, and I'll go around, I'll be changing around. I'm like,
wow.
Definitely a filmmaker.
No, I'll definitely just get warm globes.
Yeah.
I don't like but I cannot believe we're talking about
like
globes.
a cold bathroom. Well, we're talking about the look of the film, and I must say, like, for me, the genre, like there, I was like, good job.
No, they did a good job,
and they really, really supported the whole horror thing.
Yeah.
But the fact that that this is part of a series, a trilogy, you know, kind of thing. There's an expectation that still sits there. It's like an elephant in the room.
Yeah,
like,
true.
you know, it's horror, but you know, it's not really horror. So you kind of know what's going to happen, but what makes you kind of want to stick in and stay on the couch and watch is to see how, not who did it, how done it.
Yeah.
Like literally, I was just like, and then like stuff started unrolling the movie. You're like, You're like, okay, this guy's good.
No, Kenneth Branagh is brilliant.
Yeah.
First of all, from an acting perspective, his character, he's so matter of fact, and often he says the darkest of things. Like what did he say? The truth is sad. And he just says it so calmly. The truth is. But I would be laughing at him because he's just so matter of fact. So his acting is definitely brilliant, and then his directing. His directing is insane, and everything, the set design. And I know that they actually.
Did you like the angles and the lenses that they used?
I was about to get there. Right? I was about to get there.
Very spaced out, off center.
Everything was
wide-angled lenses.
It was the camera was
yes. Everything just feels so off.
Yes, but it made sense.
I just sat there, I'm like, I would never use a shot like that, and I wouldn't really notice it because it's adding so much to the theme that it's not even bugging me.
Yeah, no, the shots were. I know, I did, but you did notice them because while you were watching it, you were like, so. You notice the fact that these shots are
some of them look like monologues.
Yes.
Hey?
Yes.
And
even the composition of the shot.
That's what I'm saying.
So sometimes, I don't know if you remember, there was that one point they found there was a hidden telephone, and then it's that whole thing called it's blocking. So basically what happens is the police officer picks up the phone, but in the background you can, I think it was the two twins or the brother and sister, you could see them, and then he's speaking on the phone, and then Hercule comes in and completely blocks the two actors, and he takes the phone and listens. But even the angle itself, but the fact that they did all of that in one shot, it was beautiful.
Yes.
It really, from a filmmaking perspective, it was so good, and everything they did, from the lighting to the music to the costume to the sets to the angles, everything really worked together to tell the story. It was so good. And the other thing, I know you mentioned this before we started recording, was what was nice about it was, yes, it had horror vibes, but he went and almost debunked every form of, because there was a lady who was a clairvoyant, and then there was the whole speaking to ghosts, and then there was halfway through you were like, wait, is this actually a haunted house type of thing? By the end of the film, he's proved that he's basically debunked the whole haunted thing, but then at the end, the way the one character dies, you know what, can we spoiler? Can we go watch the movie, pause us, go watch the movie, come back? Okay, so I personally predicted that the mom was the killer.
Really?
I was just like, you know what? It's the mob.
I thought it was all of them.
It's the mob.
I was like, he's going to call them all together, and in some weird way, they're all involved.
The way the murder was solved was brilliant. Like I didn't suspect the honey, but it made so much sense with the bees and the garden. Then with the turkey, with the photograph, with the flowers being like all of it. You know when you miss small details, but the small details are what make the crime. It was brilliant. So I loved how. I think from a murder mystery perspective, this was my favorite murder mystery out of the three. I don't know if you, that's just my personal opinion. Just the way everything worked together, it was just like, oh, that's so brilliant. I never would have thought of that.
For me, it was so interesting. Just, like I said, just the fact that it's, you know what to expect, but then they make it a horror. You're like, why are they?
The fact that the previous two weren't horrors also added,
That's what I'm saying. Can I just talk about the cinematography quickly? Harris Zambalukos, sorry if I misspelled your surname. This guy has been with our director for very long.
Oh, serious?
Yeah, if I look at most of his work, he's been there since 2000. He was with him also with Death on the Nile, obviously, Belfast, Murder on the Oriental Express. He also did other movies like Cinderella, Jack Ryan.
Cinderella was good.
Loki, Thor,
Loki was
Mamma
good.
Mia. Yeah, like a lot of movies, including an upcoming film called Beetlejuice 2 with Tim Burton.
That's coming out next year.
So this guy's been around.
I want to watch Beetlejuice 2 now more because, well, I didn't want to watch it before, but now I want to watch it.
Yes.
Yeah. No, and the fact that the fact that he got right what he got right in this film based on his previous films shows you how like they really
diverse.
they're
Dynamic.
diverse, they're filmmakers, they're up for a new challenge, trying a new thing.
Didn't even know.
Yeah, so it was very good. Do you know that this film, so it was released on September 15 this year, 2023, which was Dame Agatha Christie's 133rd birthday.
All right.
How cool is that?
Wow.
So for all of you Agatha Christie fans out there, you probably knew that this film was coming out and you probably knew it was her birthday
and you were
as well.
looking forward to it as well.
Yeah. And then also, so I found this quite interesting. I don't know if you remember at one point the doctor in the film, he mentions that, so they were medical doctors in the World Wars and they went into a starving concentration camp where they were, starving prisoners and they were liberating them, and he said they gave them milk but they didn't know. Now, obviously, that implies that the prisoners then died from having the milk. And apparently this is actually possible, and it's caused by a condition known as refeeding syndrome. I was like, what? So they literally, if you give a starving person milk, you can kill them.
Really?
I know, right? How crazy is that?
I wonder why.
I haven't looked into but basically it's the refeeding syndrome. I think it's maybe because their body their body's in such a state of shock and lack and starvation that you can't just give we're talking about like starving people here, like people who haven't eaten for like months or days. I don't know if you can. I think you can go out. Can you go out without eating for months?
So if you fast for 21 days, should you be drinking milk? Dum dum dum.
I think if you've had milk, your body's used to it.
Yeah, maybe.
I think with them it's that they were.
There's obviously a certain condition.
They were deprived completely. Yeah.
Okay.
And then talking about the cast of this film, so obviously you have the brilliant Kenneth Branagh. Thoroughly enjoyed him, so good. Then you had Kelly Riley. She did a very good job. She was obviously the mom. She did a very good job. Tina Fey. Do you know that this is the first time she's taken a role that hasn't been in a comedy?
Yeah, she is usually in comedy.
She's normally in comedy. This was literally her first role. Then you had Michelle Yeoh.
Yep.
She did a very good job at acting demon possessed. I was like, that's definitely a demon. It's just taken over. She did do a very good job. Also different to her normal role. And then Jamie Dornan, I enjoyed his acting. He was the doctor.
Yeah.
But shame, he was traumatized. But he did it. But I also recognize his face. I don't know where I recognize his face from. I'm checking now. And then Carl Allen. Ryan, do you remember we did a film and I still said that if Heath Ledger had an iPhone, this guy could unlock his iPhone?
Oh, really?
That's him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I enjoyed him. So films that he's been in is The Tiny Map of Perfect Little Things.
Oh, yes.
I think that was the name of that movie. It's confusing.
Something
and then
like that.
he also was in West Side Story, Steven Spielberg's West Side Story.
Okay.
He was on one of the I think he was on the Irish, you know, that there were the two gangs, the Irish versus the
Those guys.
Hispanics.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, he was on that side. And then I also enjoyed Emma Lard. She was the sister
She
or the
was very
assistant.
weird.
She was very
Her
weird.
face was so, like, there wasn't when she talks, it's not a muscle in her face like moves, except for her mouth. And I was just like, that's kind of spooky.
But she did a very good job. So Jamie Dornan, just trying to. Okay, he was in Belfast.
What country were they from? Like what? Because I was trying her and was it her brother or just her like a partner?
They mentioned it. Now I can't remember.
I was trying to. I was almost like, is she Russian?
In real life, she is English. She's English.
Wow.
She did a good job. I thought they did a good job with the
She's
accents.
very good.
Yeah. So Jamie Dornan, who was the doctor, that guy.
Yes.
He was in Belfast. Belfast is actually a movie about Kenneth Branagh's childhood. I don't know if you know that.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Robin Hood with that film was, Jamie Foxx was in it, as well as Taron Egerton. Endings and Beginnings. Why do I feel like I watched that? Yeah, he's got a very, very wide range.
Okay.
He was in Burnt. I didn't know he was in Burnt.
It's been around.
He's been around.
Mr.
Yes. Jamie. But yeah, Belfast was based, it was also directed by Kenneth Branagh, so obviously they are collaborators. And then Shane Jude here was the little boy. He did a good job. He was cute.
He did a very. I found him very. He acted. Didn't you find his acting to be like? I was almost like, I wonder who's the real dad.
Yes, he came across as the
It was more
I knew I recognized him. He was also in Belfast. He played the boy that was representing Kenneth Branagh in the story.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So
Kenneth was like, these are my favorite actors.
Yeah, these two
I
I'm
shall
gonna
bring you aboard.
But the cast was solid. I thoroughly enjoyed. And you know, my favorite part was, well, not my favorite part, but the way the film ended was so good. Like normally, because it's a murder mystery, you don't really get closure at the end. You kind of just are horrified by like what actually happened. You're just like, dang, yeah. Which I found even in Murder on the Orient Express, like you were like, oh my word. But with this film, so even though you were like, oh my word, you kind of, the mom sort of got justice in a way, but then also the way it ended with him refinding himself as like this detective was really cool. And that last shot, I literally watched the whole of the credits because I was just like, so the last shot is like this aerial shot,
like this drone shot
of
helicopter.
But I don't know if I kept looking for the rooftop they were on. Do you know they kept acting that entire time?
Is it?
They literally kept going. But also it's a beautiful shot of Venice, and it just shows how they were, even the roof, that actual roof that they were on.
I was like, that's a nice place to chill.
Right? No, that shot was a very good, best ending shot of a movie thus far.
Very good.
That was very good. It was like the Inception one, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe not as good as the Inception one, but no, it was good.
I was very happy that he took that guy's case.
Yeah. And then the fact that you were able to start even figuring out the fact that their family doctor was actually killing off the rest of their family. Yeah.
He was good already. He's like, all right, sit down, let's talk.
Let's talk. Yeah, I definitely would recommend this one. I would say if I had to pick out of the three,
I would love to watch this movie again.
Yeah, this one was very good.
I think that I would pick up on some extra stuff. Like now that I know the story, I'd pay attention.
You'd actually pick up, to
some of the in between.
Yeah,
because for me, I was kind of trying to listen in on what every person's excuse or in the involvement or reason, because then you can kind of like try and who was it kind of thing. But then I thought to myself, but it's a movie, it's difficult because they everything that they say kind of plays a role towards what's going to happen at the end. So of course, whatever they're going to say to kind of, because I mean, I know the first thing that he does is he first finds out what everybody's motive is. Where were they? And then what would their motive be towards?
And the problem is all of them have motive.
Exactly. Yeah, so
Like a good old
when we sat there, I was just like,
whodunit.
I was like, yep, all right, there you go. Well, enjoy. So,
But the fact you couldn't figure it out, my sister didn't figure it out. So I think the reason I figured it out was I didn't watch the movie in one sitting. I watched it and then I stopped, and then I think I was thinking about it, and eventually I was like, you know what? It's the mom.
what made you think it was a mom?
The way she was very controlling, and the fact that she wasn't suspicious at all made me feel like she was suspicious.
As in, she just accepted the fact that she didn't like, oh, please, who was it? And,
Yeah, like the fact that she was the mom automatically like removes her from being a suspect in a way.
because it was the author woman, that writer that brought Kenneth, the detective in,
Yeah.
right?
Yes, but
So it's not like, like you
Yeah.
said, she didn't want to find out.
But
She
even
wasn't
the
desperate.
whole blackmail, because once the murder had been solved,
Yes.
I was still like, wait, but we don't know who was the blackmailer.
was the brother.
And then it was the little boy.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was a little boy. I was
Dang.
like,
And even the fact that they let the brother and the sister, go to Missouri.
So the father found out over the phone there.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, what?
And she thought he was the blackmailer the whole time.
Damn it. Now I have to kill myself.
Yeah.
Hey? That's
Okay,
crazy.
last piece of trivia, right? So the only thing that's different between, well, not the only thing, but one of the things, I don't know what other things there are, but the film adaptation of Hercule goes completely against the grain of Christie's original Poirot.
That one.
That he's one day I'll get his name, because in the book the character would never have done anything that could potentially mess up his moustache, which we did kind of see in the first one. I don't know if you remember him brushing his funny moustache. However, in this film, he attempts to bob for an apple, thereby immersing his moustache in the
That was kind of
water.
weird for me, that piece.
I suppose they needed him to be somewhere where he could be killed.
I feel like he was a bit of out of character there because
Yeah.
I don't,
Maybe they should have just had him like walk up to it and like look down, and then she just like
next
came
minute
from
just came
behind
out of
and just
nowhere.
like.
Exactly.
Yeah, maybe they should have done that.
I felt like he just kind of stepped out there for a second.
Although he was given the tea afterwards with the honey. I was going to say had he had the tea yet, because you know the tea caused hallucinations.
then there you go.
No, but he hadn't yet.
But he didn't.
So yeah,
Exactly.
But this was a very good film.
Great
I
film.
didn't like how they were alluding to there not being a god, because they did that quite a bit.
But however, the ending, because if there is a ghost, means that a person does have a, etc. If you had a, so I was like, you're wrong, detective. And now even he's wondering.
They did leave it open.
Yes,
They did leave it open.
And they left it open as there is a possibility.
Yeah. But I would definitely watch, if they brought out another one, definitely would watch it.
Yeah.
It's good. You don't feel like you're watching the same thing. The second one for me was like, maybe if I watched it again. I think for me, you remember his friend died in the second one.
Yeah, that's right.
That was horrible. But I thought this was a very good, it was a very good continuation of the story, even after the...
definitely.
Yeah. Yes,
Deserves a marketing.
that does.
So that's how we did it.
There we go.
Markets it officially.
This has been
Pushed.
a haunting in Venice.
Yes.
Go watch it. But until next week, this has been the movie show.
See you then.
Peace.